fiery destiny. From a young age, Bruce was full of energy, strong, fearless, and unstoppable. But he was also rebellious. He got into fights, challenged authority, and refused to be ordinary. He didn't want to live a life defined by others. When his family moved back to Hong Kong, Bruce grew up surrounded by chaos, poverty, and violence. The streets taught him to be tough, but they also introduced him to martial arts, something that would soon become his life's passion. As a teenager, Bruce began training under the legendary master Yip Man in Wing Chun. This training was not just about fighting, it was about philosophy, discipline, and understanding the self. Bruce realized something powerful, that martial arts were not only about defeating others. They were about mastering yourself. Part 2: The Fight for Purpose. Bruce Lee was never satisfied with being average. He wanted to be more, to create, to express, and to inspire. But life was not easy for him. He faced racism in Hong Kong and later in America. People looked down on him because he was Chinese. They doubted his abilities and tried to limit him. But Bruce Lee didn't let that stop him. He once said, "Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one." And that's exactly what he did. When Bruce returned to the United States, he started teaching martial arts. He called his method Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist. It was not a traditional style. It was free, flexible, and fluid, like water. Bruce believed that life, like water, should be adaptable. He said, "Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup, water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend." That philosophy became his foundation, not only in fighting, but in life itself. Part 3: Hollywood Rejection. Bruce wanted to spread his art to the world through movies. He dreamed of showing the beauty and philosophy of martial arts on the big screen. But Hollywood didn't see him that way. They told him, "You're Asian. You can't be a leading man." They rejected his ideas and gave him minor roles, despite his talent and charisma. Like and subscribe my channel, and thanks for watching my video. There are legends, and then there is Bruce Lee. A man whose power wasn't just in his muscles, but in something far deeper: his mind, his spirit, his inner power. Today, we'll uncover the truth behind Bruce Lee's inner strength, the strength that went beyond his physical abilities, beyond martial arts, and beyond time itself. 1. The beginning of the legend. Bruce Lee was born on November 27, 1940, in San Francisco, during the Year of the Dragon. From the start, destiny marked him for greatness. But Bruce Lee's journey wasn't about talent alone. He was not born with power, he built it, through discipline, pain, and unshakable belief. As a child in Hong Kong, Bruce was energetic, rebellious, and often got into fights. His father, a famous opera actor, hoped Bruce would follow in his artistic footsteps. But Bruce's path was different. He sought movement, freedom, and mastery over himself. When he began studying martial arts under Ip Man, the great Wing Chun master, Bruce didn't just learn how to fight, he learned how to think. Bruce once said, "The possession of anything begins in the mind." Even at a young age, Bruce Lee understood something most people never do: true strength starts from within. 2. The mind before the muscle. Most people train their bodies. Bruce trained his mind. He believed that physical power was limited, but mental power was infinite. Bruce used to meditate daily. He practiced focus, visualization, and mindfulness long before these became popular ideas in the West. He said, "As you think, so shall you become." To Bruce, the body was a servant of the mind. If your mind is weak, your body will fail. But if your mind is unbreakable, your body will follow. This philosophy became the foundation of his training. Every punch, every kick, every movement came from mental clarity and purpose. That's why Bruce Lee's speed seemed supernatural. His strikes weren't random, they were guided by intense awareness and inner control. 3. Facing challenges, the test of inner power. In his early 20s, Bruce Lee faced discrimination when he moved to the United States. At that time, Asians were often portrayed as weak or submissive in Hollywood. but Bruce refused to accept that image. He wanted to show the world the true strength of his culture, not through violence, but through discipline and self-mastery. While teaching martial arts in America, Bruce faced resistance even from his own community. Some masters didn't want him to teach non-Chinese students. When Bruce refused to stop, they challenged him to a fight. Bruce won that fight, but he wasn't satisfied. Even though he won physically, he realized he had been breathing heavily and lacked full control. That moment changed everything. He decided to rebuild himself completely, physically, mentally, and spiritually. That's when he began forming his own philosophy. Like and subscribe my channel, and thank you for watching my video. Bye bye, see you soon. Bruce Lee. A name that echoes through generations. A man who became more than just a fighter, he became a symbol of strength, discipline, and unshakable spirit. But behind the lightning-fast punches and the legendary kicks lies a deeper truth. The truth about his fighting spirit. This is the story of Bruce Lee's power unleashed. Section 1: Early Struggles, the Spark of a Fighter. Background: Images of young Bruce in Hong Kong, childhood scenes. Bruce Lee was born on November 27, 1940, in San Francisco, during the Year of the Dragon, a sign that would later define his destiny. He grew up in Hong Kong, surrounded by the world of film and theater. His father was an actor, and young Bruce appeared in movies as a child star. But behind the fame, Bruce was not a calm boy. He was restless, energetic, and often got into street fights. Those early days shaped the fighter inside him, not a fighter who wanted to hurt others, but one who wanted to prove himself. Bruce once said, "Do not pray for an easy life, pray for the strength to endure a difficult one." That was his mindset even as a teenager, to face struggle, not escape it. When Bruce moved to the United States at 18, he carried with him nothing but passion and belief. No money. No fame. Just a dream, to show the world what true martial arts meant. Section 2: Building the Warrior Mindset. Background: Scenes of Bruce training, practicing moves, reading philosophy books. In America, Bruce worked hard. He studied philosophy at the University of Washington, taught martial arts to students, and trained endlessly. He didn't believe in copying others, he believed in creating something new. He began developing his own martial arts philosophy, Jeet Kune Do, which means the way of the intercepting fist. But Bruce's fighting spirit wasn't just about fighting opponents, it was about overcoming limitations. He once said, "Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is uniquely your own." This was more than martial arts advice, it was a life philosophy. Bruce believed that every person should break free from patterns and express themselves freely. His power came from self-awareness, knowing who he truly was. He trained his body, but also his mind. He read books on philosophy, psychology, and spirituality. He wanted to understand what it means to live with power. And that power, he learned, starts within. Section 3: The Power Beyond Muscles. Background: Close-up training clips, sweat, slow-motion punches. Many think Bruce Lee's power came from his muscles. But the truth is, his real power came from his mind and spirit. Bruce believed that the body follows the mind. If your mind is weak, your body will give up. If your mind is strong, your body will obey. He said, "As you think, so shall you become." Every day, Bruce pushed himself past the limits. Like and subscribe my channel, and thanks for watching my video. Bye bye, see you soon. In a world full of dreamers, there are only a few who turn their dreams into destiny. Bruce Lee was one of them. He wasn't just a fighter. He was a philosopher, a teacher, a thinker, and above all, a man who lived by his own code. Today, we will uncover Bruce Lee's code of greatness, the rules that shaped a legend, guided his mind, and built the foundation of his unstoppable spirit. Part 1: The Beginning of the Code. Bruce Lee's journey didn't begin with fame or fortune. It started with struggle, rejection, and a dream that many thought was impossible. Born in San Francisco in 1940 and raised in Hong Kong, Bruce was full of energy, curiosity, and confidence. He got into fights on the streets. He was rebellious, restless, and wild. But behind that young boy was a spark, a hunger to understand life and himself. When Bruce began learning martial arts, it wasn't just about fighting. It was about discipline, self-mastery, and inner peace. His teacher, Ip Man, taught him Wing Chun, a form that was fast, fluid, and based on awareness. Bruce absorbed every lesson like water. This was the first principle of his code of greatness. Be water, my friend. Bruce realized that life is not about being rigid or fixed. To survive and grow, you must flow, adapt, and stay open. Water takes the shape of whatever it touches. It can crash or it can flow. That's how Bruce lived, flexible, powerful, and ever-changing. Part 2: The Rule of Self-Belief. The second rule in Bruce Lee's code was unshakable self-belief. When Bruce came to America, he faced racism, doubt, and rejection. People told him an Asian man could never be a star in Hollywood. But Bruce refused to accept limits that others placed on him. He wrote in his journal, "I will be the highest-paid Oriental superstar in the United States. I will achieve world fame. And from my talent, I will make the world better." And he did. Bruce didn't wait for permission to shine. He created his own path. He trained harder than anyone. He studied philosophy, psychology, and human movement. He believed that real power came from knowing yourself. He once said, "As you think, so shall you become." That was the rule he lived by. Whatever you think about most, you become. Your mind is the architect of your destiny. Bruce proved it with every kick, every word, and every action. Part 3: The Rule of Discipline. Bruce Lee was not born a master, he built himself through relentless discipline. He trained every single day, sometimes for hours, pushing his body and mind beyond limits. He wasn't chasing perfection, he was chasing improvement. His rule was simple. Long-term consistency beats short-term intensity. He focused on doing a little bit better every day. Bruce didn't believe in luck. He believed in preparation. He once said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once. But I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." Like and subscribe my channel, and thanks for watching my video. Background music, calm but inspiring. Narrator. Everyone knows Bruce Lee, the man with lightning speed, the fighter with unshakable focus, and the legend who changed the face of martial arts forever. But few truly understand the secret behind his greatness. It wasn't just strength. It wasn't just speed. It was discipline, a deep, unbreakable art that guided every move, every thought, and every dream of Bruce Lee's life. This is the story of Bruce Lee's art of discipline, the mind behind the legend. Section 1: The Foundation of Discipline, 1-330. Narrator. Bruce Lee once said, "The successful warrior is the average man, with laser-like focus." Those words perfectly describe how he lived. Discipline for Bruce was not just about training his body, it was about mastering his mind. From a young age, Bruce learned that control over the mind was the first step toward control over life. In his teenage years, he wasn't the calm, wise man we often imagine. He was full of energy, easily angered, and sometimes reckless. But through martial arts, he discovered a path, a way to turn chaos into control, and emotion into power. He practiced not only punches and kicks but also patience, awareness, and self-control. He trained his mind to obey his will. That's where true discipline began for Bruce Lee. Section 2: The Routine of a Master, 3:30-6 o'clock. Narrator. Bruce Lee's daily life was built around structure. He treated each day as a chance to improve physically, mentally, and spiritually. He would wake early, meditate, and visualize his goals. Then came hours of physical training, push-ups, kicks, speed drills, flexibility exercises, and shadowboxing. He also practiced reading and writing every day, studying philosophy, psychology, and self-improvement. Bruce once said, "Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own." That quote shows his mindset: disciplined, but always creative. He never followed blindly. He tested everything. His discipline was not about strict routine, it was about consistent growth. He trained like a scientist, experimenting with movement, nutrition, and mindset. Every repetition was a lesson. Every failure, a chance to improve. Section 3, Discipline Beyond the Gym, 6 to 8:30. Narrator. For Bruce Lee, discipline didn't end when training was over. It continued in how he lived, how he spoke, and how he thought. He controlled his emotions, his diet, and even his sleep. He avoided distractions and unhealthy habits. He believed that the true fight was not against an opponent, it was against laziness, fear, and doubt. Bruce understood that greatness comes from the small choices made daily. When others relaxed, he worked. When others gave up, he pushed harder. And when others doubted, he stayed focused. He once said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." That's discipline, repetition with purpose.